So quickly, I'm going to share my screen and show the 6-week schedules for people who are not familiar with it. Tell me if you can see my screen. I told people last week, if you weren't familiar with this, please take a screenshot of it. We are going to be talking about the 419 schedules. And then if you come over here, your open and close dates, you all will manage. It's unit specific. This is a template that you should follow with your teams, but everyone should be next week publishing their schedules for their team members on the week of the 22nd. And then if you come over here, if you are using Staffing Center PRN, we then would be using and making sure that their billboards are being used either by your nursing office or by your HR departments, and Staffing Center should be sharing that process with you. Okay, so the next thing I would like to share really quickly, and I don't know if Joni King is on this call. If you are, Joni, I promise I'm not doing anything with your stuff. I'm going to just share something really quickly. Can everyone see my WFM screen?
Yep.
All right, thank you. So really quickly, if you look at this, Joni's is still opened for her team members to sign up. You know this because if you hover over this lock, it says that are still pending open self-scheduling. So Joni's is still open for her team members to sign up. And then you can see here, she has multiple team members that have started to sign up and they have their shifts all filled in here. And then if you go to the bottom, I want to bring you guys' attention to the bottom numbers here, which are coming from your staffing requirements template, denominator, staffing requirements template. Ignore this 76 over 87. When I say ignore, that is the total number of nurses for each day part. So if you have 6 day parts and you say that you need 13 nurses, it's just doing the math of what it is for each day part. It's a total roundup. But when we go focus on your day parts or 7A, you can see anything that's red shows that you are under. And it looks like she wants, for the 7A day part, she still needs 1 more nurse. You come over here, she needs a few more. Looks like when it's black, you're right on. It's okay. And when you're over, it turns blue. Just wanted to bring your attention to that so that everybody could see that this is how you come over and you'll look at it. And then you would also scroll down to your PCTs. Same thing. These are counting from your shifts that your people are picking up. And the bottom number is feeding from your staffing requirements template. These shifts are feeding from your shift template, what you're saying you need for shifts. Okay, so without any further ado, I'm going to stop sharing. We are now going to move over to balancing. When you balance, you would then close this. And I'm sure Max will get into that. During your process, you would have to close it, but you do not want to publish. All right, Max, I'm going to hand over to you.
Sure. I'm going to share my screen. All right, can everybody see?
So Max, let me just really quickly, again, the 6-week schedule applies to everyone with the exception of Cap. So Cap, if you were on the call, you are a 4-week schedule. Everyone else is on the 6-week schedule. Kim, I saw your note. I'm sorry, I wanted to make sure we mentioned that. Okay, Cap, anyone Cap wise? 4 weeks. Everyone else, you are on a 6-week schedule and you are working on converting yourself to that 6-week schedule. All right. Yes, we can see your screen. Thank you.
Sounds good. So I'm going to have it zoomed in a little bit here. I am going to zoom in and out a little bit as we go, and I'll kind of explain why. But what we are looking at here is how your schedule will default, how the view will default. So the bottom of your screen are going to show your yellow shifts. You're going to see everybody listed in here. The default sort is by their employee ID. So it's going to kind of look like your employees are not really sorted really in any way. They're categorized by their positions. You've got managers, nurses, PCTs. So what we're going to do here is we're going to go through a series of filters, sorts, and display options to kind of change your schedule up so that we can better balance the schedule and better understand where our needs are and where our gaps are. So the schedule that we're looking at here is published. In most cases, when you're balancing, whether you're coming out of a self-scheduling process that has just closed, your window end dates have passed, your process will automatically close. Your shifts are then unlocked, but they are still unpublished. Or if you are using one-time schedules to generate your schedules, and there's some unassigned shifts left over, in a lot of cases, your schedule is going to be unpublished in this phase. We are published on this schedule just because we're going to have to bounce back and forth for a lot of these demos. So one of the differences between what I'm looking at and what you're looking at is that I do not have those little the little lines around my shifts, the perforations, and I do not have the publish icon in the top right corner by my printer. So those are the key differences. So we're going to go through a couple different display options, sorts, and filters. They're going to help us gear up into making sure we balance out our schedule to make sure that we've got all the right people filled to their FTE and that our coverage is good. So the first thing that I want to do is I am going to work with one group at a time. So I am going to click on my filter icon and I am going to select my nurses. It can be any group that you're working on at the moment. But I'm just going to filter it down so that I'm seeing, only the one group that I'm working on at the moment. The next thing I'm going to do is within my display options, this gear icon, I'm going to click on this and I'm going to check this box at the bottom that says unassigned at top. And what that's going to do is it's going to bring all of my unassigned shifts up to the top of my screen, so that I can kind of easily see them. They're presented to me and I can see my people below. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to change my sort options. So right now I've got everyone listed under their job of nurse. So in here, these are all the people who have the job of nurse, but right now they're sorted by their employee ID, which is not necessarily helpful. So when I'm sorting, I want to do there's a couple different ways to do this. One of the ways that I find the best is under your primary sort, you would sort this by their work type. What that's going to do is it's going to put all your full-time people in one section. It's going to put your per diem people in one section. It's going to put your agency people in one section. So it's just a little bit easier for you to work and view all your people. You can then, under your sort options, choose a secondary sort. So primary is work type. Right now, secondary is employee name. I want to change my secondary to the total number of scheduled hours. So if I select that and I hit sort, what this does is it shows me all my full-time people up at the top. So something to point out, we've got this person, Liliana, is a full-time employee. Their FTE listed next to their name is a 0.5. We believe that's testing from GHR. These people are supposed to be 0.9s or 1s, but we can see next to everyone's name, we've got their FTE listed, and then we've got the total number of scheduled hours selected next to their names. So this person's a full-time person. They have 0 hours. They picked up nothing. Below, we've got someone at 180 hours. We've got 204 hours. And then below here, we've got our people who picked up their 216. So these are 0.9 people. They picked up their 216. These people are good. I may need to balance these folks out a little bit. They may be unbalanced week by week, but I can see that for my first pass, my folks at 216 are good. I do have some people down here at the bottom at 228. So this is someone I'm going to have to look into as well. So now that I've got all my people listed in a way that's easy for me to digest, I can go in here and I can start assigning out my shifts based off my needs. So one of the things that I'm going to show briefly here that when I talk about zooming in and out, one of the things I want to show briefly, this is going to look much better on your screen than it is when I'm sharing to you here. But up in the top right corner, there's this option for compact view. When you select this, what it's going to try to do is it's going to try to size all 6 weeks of your schedule into one view. And it's going to just kind of resize everything. This is going to be very small for you all right now. I can read it, but it kind of collapses your display labels. It allows you to see all your unassigned shifts for the entire 6-week period, all of your employees. There's a lot less scrolling vertically. Your employees are listed by their initials. So if I hover over their initials, I can see who they are. I can see more information as to what their work schedule is and their job and things like that. But while I'm balancing my schedule and I'm just making sure that I've got everyone's FTE filled out, personally, it's not a huge thing to know exactly who these people are. I can hover over to know, but what's more important to me is that I've easily got all 6 weeks in my schedule and all of my needs listed here. So the last thing with display options and filters and sorts is your magic wand here. You've got an option to go into mass edit. So when I select mass edit, what this allows me to do is it allows me to select multiple shifts at once and make one transaction across multiple shifts. So the first thing that I need to do here is I need to look at my person who's full-time, who's got 0 scheduled hours. If I hover over their name, I can see that their work schedule is that they work day shift. So I need to give this person some day shifts. So the first thing I need to do is I look up at my shifts above, and we're going to go into more detail about how I can see exactly what I need and how I need to balance my schedule. But the first thing I want to show here is this mass edit. So I'm going to go and I'm going to select some of the days that I know I've got some extra shifts. So I see that there's multiple day shifts left on this Friday, Saturday, and this Thursday for week 1. For week 2, we've got Friday, Wednesday, and Tuesday are days that I have multiple day shifts left. Week 3, we've got Monday and Tuesday and Thursday. So I'm going through and I'm kind of just seeing my requirements. And I'm going through and I'm selecting the days that I want this person to work. So this day, and this day, and this one, and let's do this day and this day. So I've got an entire 6-week schedule selected for this person. And I've gone through week by week and I've picked out the 3 shifts that that person should work. And I'm going to select their name. And it's going to ask me, do you want to assign all these shifts and all these dates to this person? And I can hit OK. It's going to load for a second here. Performance are things that we are working on. So this is a training instance. It's a bit slower. You all are seeing some slowness currently, but we are working with Infor right now to fix that. So you can see I've now got all 216 of my hours for this person all scheduled out. The days that I selected for this person, there's 1 less shift each day. So I'm slowly chipping away at my total needs up at the top of my schedule. And if I hit reload here, it's going to resort my list. So GL here, Liliana Gusky, is now at 216. If I hit reload, it's going to drop her down in my list. And the person who's got the least amount of hours by full-time is now at the top of my list. So I've got this person who's at 180, who I now need to figure out and schedule. So that is your mass edit assign. And that is a quick and easy way to do kind of your big assignments in the people who didn't pick up anything that they were supposed to pick up, or maybe the people who did not self-schedule. So that is a quick and easy way. I know that you all can't really see anything very well right now, so I'm going to go out of compact view, and I'm going to talk through some more granular ways that you can view your coverage and your needs.
So Max, I'm just going to pause. Can you pause for a second? And guys,
Yes.
If you could write down your questions for the end, because we have a lot of information. We'll pause in between each one, but if you could pause, I see some hands up. PTO, yes, will count in that your total for your hours. PTO, meeting time, anything productive and non-productive time will count in those hours. Okay, so RDOs do not count, of course. So that was one common question that was coming through, Max. So I wanted to make sure people knew that the PTO time does calculate in your totals.
Yep.
Thank you.
Of course. So if I drop out of compact view, it's going to bring back up my schedule. I can see a little bit more detail in here now. And I wanted to show the more accurate ways that we can view our demand, basically. So I've got someone here who's a 0.9, who's only got 180 hours. So I need to fill this person's schedule out, but I need to be a little bit more strategic about it. So what I want to do is the first thing, so I know I need to assign this person some shifts. The three ways that I can view and easily track my coverage and my demand here, the top of my schedule here has all of my unfilled shifts listed out. These are all the shifts that have not yet been assigned. I use my staffing requirements templates and my shifts templates to go through and generate exactly how many shifts I need each day. Let's see, we can, okay, good, thank you. So I've got the exact number of shifts that I need listed out here. So one of the ways, if you're keeping a hold of your schedule, you're not deleting any shifts, you're making sure you're generating your staffing requirements and shift templates. This is, in the beginning of your schedule generation, an easy way to know exactly how many people you still need, right? Because you've still got these vacancies listed. So I can see on each day, the days that I need more people, I've got a bigger stack here. So on Wednesday, the 22nd, I got 4 shifts I still have to assign. There's still some RDO shifts listed in here. So on the 9th, Saturday the 9th, I've got a lot of shifts that I still need to fill. RDO night shift, I don't need to fill that. Nobody picked it up in self-scheduling. I can get rid of it if I want to, but I can go through and I can look at the days that I need more people because my stack is longer. So I know that I need to start chipping away on those days first. When it comes to balancing each individual, I know that Alyssa here is a 0.9, only has 180 hours. I can open up my total hours column and I can see specifically that week 1 is good, 36 hours scheduled there. Week
Max,
2, we're down to 24. Yep.
Would you be able to zoom in a little for these samples that you're doing so that people can see it? Thank you.
So
Are we
week
good,
2,
guys? Can I get a thumbs up if you guys can see it? Because I know some of it can be a little difficult. Okay, perfect.
Sorry.
Thank you.
Perfect. Okay. So week 1, we've got 36 hours. We're good. Week 2, 24. Week 3, 24. Week 4, 24. Week 5, 36. Week 6, 36. So I need 1, 2, 3 shifts in weeks 2, 3, and 4. So I can stay in my mass edit because I need to make 3 changes here. And how I can do this is I can scroll over to week 2 and I can see that, let's say, you know, this person, Alyssa, is a night shift person. So for week 2, she's only got 2 shifts picked up. And let's see, pretty much my only good option here is this Thursday. That's the only day that I need a night shift left. If I scroll to week 3, I can see that they're working Sunday, Monday. I'm going to go ahead and say the following Saturday. There's a lot of night shifts left, so I'm going to select one of these. I'm going to scroll over to week 4, and I'm going to show how we can use our totals rather than the actual shifts here. So if I open up my totals, I can scroll down to my night shift section, and I can look here, and I can see that, you know, Sunday we've got 4 of 4, 4 of 4. Wednesday, I've got 3 of 4. I can see that I've got my 1 night shift listed up here that's not filled. Thursday, I've only got 2 of 4 for my night shift. I can see the 2 night shifts listed up here. And on Sunday, I've only got 2 of 4. So if this person needs 1 more shift, I'm going to go ahead and give them this Thursday to make this Thursday 3 of 4. And they don't need anything on week 4, or so they don't need anything on week 5 and week 6. So I've gone through, I've made my selections. I can click on Alyssa's name here. I can assign those 3 shifts. That's going to bring Alyssa to 36 hours across the board. So we can look at 216 total. And if I open up my columns, I can see that we are at the correct number of hours. I can reload my schedule. It's going to drop her down, and I can work on my next person who is at 2:04, and they've got a shift on week 1. So I can keep working and chipping away at this list until I've basically met all of my requirements. Either I've got as many of my yellow shifts removed as possible. I can look at my totals and make sure that I'm seeing black rather than this red or blue. And I can use my total hours here to balance this out. The last thing that I want to show here is flipping from mass edit to details edit. And what I want to show is we've got someone
Max, go back to that and go a little bit slower, honey. Kind of want really fast right there. Slow down. And, thank you.
So we were in mass edit, and we want to go into details edit because we want to make some more precise changes. And specifically, I want to go to my magic wand. I want to hit details edit, and I want to show how I can swap a shift with an unassigned shift. So for the matter of this demo, we're going to look at Amelia down here, who's got extra hours scheduled. And just for the scenario, what I want to do is we've got week 5 has 48 hours, week 6 has 36. I'm going to unassign one of these shifts just so that I can kind of show the example that this person is at 216, but the problem we're dealing with is in week 5, they're at 48 hours, and at week 6, they're in 24 hours. So I need to take one of my shifts from week 5 and move it to week 6, but I don't want to unbalance my overall schedule. So I don't want to delete any of week 5 shifts, right? Because the one extra shift that this person picked up in week 5 still needs to be filled by someone else. So I don't want to delete it. But I need to also add a shift on week 6. I don't want to create an ad hoc shift because that's going to not remove any of my shifts from my total numbers up here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to find one of the days on week 5 that I can remove this person. So they've got themselves scheduled for too many shifts. I'm going to look and see they are a night shift person. And I'm going to look and see that on Wednesday, no, let's see. So let's just do Thursday, the 21st. We are going to remove this person on Thursday, and we're going to add them to a different shift. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on the Thursday shift that I'm going to get rid of, and I'm going to hit mark for swap. Now I'm going to go over to week 6, and I'm going to look at a day that they need to pick up. So I can look at my schedule, and I can see that for my night shifts, let's see, this person, Thursday the 28th is light, and Wednesday is light. I've already got this person working Tuesday, so let's do Wednesday. So I'm going to go find one of my night shifts on Wednesday, my unassigned night shifts. I'm going to click into it, and I'm going to hit swap. So I am swapping one of their scheduled shifts with an unassigned shift, which when I complete this, it is going to take away one of the night shifts on Wednesday, the unassigned, and it's going to drop it down into that person's schedule. And it's going to take the additional shift that that person was scheduled on that Thursday, and it's going to put it back into my numbers up at the top. So I know I need to assign it back out again. So now this person is at 36 for each week. We've balanced this person's schedule out. We have not added or removed to any of my total requirements. We added an extra night shift to this Thursday, but we removed an additional night shift from this Tuesday, I think is what we did. So this is a way, swapping with unassigned when you're doing your more precise edits is a huge way to make sure that you're not copying and pasting, creating additional shifts. You're not deleting, you're not, creating ad hoc shifts. Making sure that your total number of shifts up here truly represents what you need is a really good way to make sure that you're kind of maintaining a clean schedule here. So ultimately, if you're keeping track of all this, your unassigned shifts at the top here should always match your numbers at the bottom. So I can see Saturday the 23rd, I've got 3 day shifts, 3 night shifts. If I look at my totals, I can see that I'm missing those people on those times in my numbers. So we want to make sure that we're keeping track of our day shifts, our night shifts, in our total numbers above and our coverage below. So those are just the quick and easy ways, in my opinion, to balance out your schedule. Again, we're way zoomed in here, but if we zoom out a little bit, it's a little bit easier to maintain. If you use compact view, it's even better.
So Max, we have
So-
quite a few people who have said that their PTO is not calculating. I just asked them to do a service now ticket, and a couple people, please CC me on it so that we can escalate and make sure we have that looked at.
Okay. Yep, we can make sure that that calculates. Okay. Do we want to move to Billboard, or do we want to open it up for?
So we're just going to pause briefly for a couple questions. We're not going to go too in depth, guys, because we do have a lot of things we want to get through and still have 45 minutes, and want to make sure we get through it. So, I addressed the PTO. Anything else? Any other questions?
Can I please follow up on that PTO you address? I don't know whether it's mine. The halftime, when I put in the PTO, it just showed that it's only giving 4 hours to that person instead of 8 hours.
Okay, so that one I'm going to ask you if you could please put in a ticket for that. Because we're not going to address how to enter PTO here. We want to make sure that you're putting it in correctly. So we'll have someone from from WFM follow up with you. Okay?
All right, thanks.
You're welcome. Anyone else? I think, Max, so
Yes.
far so good.
Good morning. I just wanted to ask a quick question about locked schedules versus unlocked. I don't really understand the difference.
Yep.
Sure.
Go ahead,
So
Max.
locks can show up on shifts for any number of reasons, and locks can show up on people's schedules for any number of reasons. If a lock is on a shift, you can hover over the lock itself, and it will show you exactly why that lock exists. So let's, I'm going to flip over to production really quickly, and we're going to go into a schedule.
And Max, while you're doing that, I just want to remind people that your screen may not look like Max's because right now yours is published, but you should not be published while balancing, but we're using train, right? So everybody else should still have that piece of paper while you're balancing. I don't want people are hopping on kind of late, Max, into the meeting, and if they're trying to follow along with you and want their screen to match, and they see that paper icon's not there, I don't want them publishing until they're finished balancing, right? So, yeah.
So locks, locks can exist on days, scheduled days. Locks can exist on unassigned shifts, and locks can exist on people. So the first thing is if you hover over any lock, it will tell you exactly why that lock exists. So let me zoom in a little bit here, but if we hover over this lock, this shift is locked pending an open self-scheduling process. So for this assigned shift here, this is a shift that someone claimed in self-scheduling, but that process hasn't been closed yet. So that day is locked, which means you can't go in there and you can't add another shift or delete a shift or something like that, because this person is currently self-scheduling and this is a day that they have requested. If you hover over an unassigned shift lock, similarly, this unassigned shift right now is being offered via self-scheduling. I can't go into this shift. I don't want to change it. I can't change the hours. I can't delete it. I can't manually assign it. Right now, this is out there. Somebody could have their self-scheduling process open and could be in the process of claiming this specific 11/8/12 shift. So while the self-scheduling is open, we can't go in here and make changes to this shift. You could pause it, but you cannot while it's open. Similarly, on these days, there's two 7/8/12 shifts that are not locked. These two are published. They are not being offered via self-scheduling, so I could go in and change these. And lastly, when you hover over a lock on someone's name, if we look at this person here, they've got a lock next to their name. If I hover over it, that says employee is locked from 5/2 to 5/31. And if I scroll over in my schedule and I look at one of these specific X's or this locked, this employee is locked due to an inactive status, which is coming over from GHR. So if this person's not supposed to be locked, I should reach out to someone in GHR and figure out why they are. But always hover over the lock. The lock will tell you why it's happening. If you're hovering over a lock next to someone's name, it might tell you when they're locked. But if you go hover over the specific day, it'll tell you why they're locked. So locks will always give you the information you need as to why they're locked. Just got to go find them and hover over them.
And this is Joni, and that person is an agency nurse and her contract ended. And so that's why it's like that.
Thanks,
Right.
Joni.
Thanks, Joni.
So we're gonna.
We appreciate you letting us always use your
I
unit.
know. So Max, I want to keep us going here because I want to stay on track. So we're gonna move on to billboards.
Okay, so first thing that we want to do in billboards here is we're going to discuss how we are creating and maintaining our billboard groups. Last week we talked about self-scheduling and we talked about how building our self-scheduling group. This is a very similar topic. There are some slight differences though. So if we go to scheduling and shift billboard and then shift billboard group, what I want to point out right away is that the groups that are listed to you here are based off of your security. So if there's a billboard group that is for an HR department that you have access to, or there's no HR department listed at all, you will see that group. So right now I see all billboard groups that are created throughout the entire, this is just train, right? So these are all the billboard groups that were created in a testing cycle. But you will not see 1 million groups unless you have access to a lot of HR departments, then you might. So I'm going to go look at 2 different billboard groups that we created specifically, and I'm going to search for them by my HR department number. And when I search for them, I'm able to do that because similarly to our self-scheduling groups and processes, I put my HR department number in the group itself. So make sure that when you're creating your billboard, whether you're creating a new one or maybe you're editing an existing one, if you could please put your HR department number in the name. That's going to help us if you're saying people can't see shifts posted or I can't post to the billboard or whatever the reason is. It's going to allow support to easily track down what your billboard group is so we can help there. And it's going to help you to search and find your billboard groups if you've got access to a lot of different HR departments. So I'm going to edit this billboard group first, and we're going to go through 2 ways, 2 kind of major categories and ways that you can create your billboard groups. So we created a PRN group or a part-time group for CRMC ICU. When I hit edit, I can come in here and I can change my name or description. So if you've already created a billboard group and you've got all your people listed out and everything's added and everything's great, you can still just go add your HR department number in the name and save it. It will let you do that. And if you haven't done so, that would be awesome. So if we are looking at this CRMC ICU PRN group, I've added people to my billboard group here specifically by their name. So I've gone in here and I've listed out the part-time people that belong to my group. And, this could be an example of an agency person. So I've gone through and I've added, this might not be PRN, but if you're adding agency to your groups and you want to offer to them outside of your whole group, you go and you add people's names specifically. So these people here have the effective start date of 3/8/2026. So I can start offering them shifts, effective as soon as we started using scheduling. And their end date is 01/01/3000. These are part-time people on my unit. They're, they plan on being here until they aren't, right? So I'm going to make their effective date 01/01/3000 so that any shifts offered between 3/8 and forever, they're able to see. For this person, we're going to pretend like this person's on a contract similar to what Joni was saying. So an LTA contract, this person is contracted to work on my unit from 3/8 to 7/19. That doesn't mean that they have access to the billboard from 3/8 to 7/19. That means any shifts that are posted. So if a unit went and posted a shift for July 18th, then this person would be able to see that shift, even if it's posted to July 18th. They could see it right now if it were posted out there. If they posted a shift on, the shift on July 20th, this person wouldn't be able to see it right now, even now, because they're on my unit between 3/8 and 7/19, but the shift that they'd be claiming is on 7/20. So they won't be able to see that shift. So that's how these effective dates works. It's not necessarily when this person is assigned to that group, but it's the shifts that they're able to claim when they're posted. So I've gone in here and I've said that these are the specific people a part of this group. So anytime I post shifts to this billboard group, these people can see them, and that's it. And if I post a shift outside of the date range listed for anyone, they're not going to be able to see it. So if you've got someone who's planning on leaving in the near future, they put in their resignation, but they're going to be here for an additional 4 weeks, you could put their end date in here. For a few reasons, they wouldn't be able to pick up shifts after that, but that would prevent them from doing so for sure. So that's how I can add people who are able to claim shifts from the billboard. This is one way I can add by group employee. We're going to talk about this twice. The billboard shift team. These are the HR departments or HR department that can post shifts. So these shifts are coming from 10317. That's the CRMC ICU. So a shift that is posted from 10317, if I open up the 10317 schedule and I click on a shift that is 10317, I can post it to this billboard. Yes, I have to have access to 10317, but this doesn't mean that only people with access to 10317 can post to this group. That means that specifically the shifts that are being offered are shifts that are being scheduled to and charged to the CRMC ICU. So I may have access to the entire system. I do. When I go into the CRMC ICU and I select a shift to post to the billboard, this is one of the groups I'm able to send that shift to because the billboard shift team is saying that I can send shifts that are from 10317 to this group. So we're going to talk about it again in another context that might help, and then we're going to see it live. But I'm saying 10317 can post shifts from 3/8. Any shifts that exist between 3/8 and 010 and 3000 can be offered to this group, and I want to make sure I check manager can post. If I don't check this, then when I go into my schedule and I click into an unfilled published shift in the future, and I say send to billboard, this group isn't going to be visible because I didn't check that the manager can post. So that is how we can create one type of group. I've gone in and said that these are the specific people that can claim from this group, and I've said that the shifts the shifts that are being claimed are CRMC ICU shifts. The next
And
way I
Max-
can create my
Max,
group. Yep.
Max,
Yep.
we got rid of the employee one, right? That's not visible in production anymore, right? We got rid of that.
I will have to check and see if that was, I don't know if that made it into pre-production. That
Okay,
might be one of the post go live.
okay. Because we do
But
not want employees. We do not want our employees doing that.
I don't think anybody wants that. Yeah. So I'll speak to that just in case. Just
It's
in
not
case
on
you all
mine.
can still. Okay, good.
Okay. I thought
Um,
I thought we did it. Okay, thank you.
Yep. So again, my apologies. I'm in a training environment. So yes, you will not be able to see that. So the next way that I've created a group, I've created the CRMC ICU whole team. So this whole team group, I haven't added any individual employees in here. I've added under my billboard group team, I've added 10317 as the group that can see shifts. So anyone that exists on the team 10317, anyone exists on that HR department can see shifts that are posted to this billboard group. I've checked include non-home team specifically so that anyone on my team, anyone on 10317 that might be there for an LTA, like an agency long-term assignment from the float pool, whether they are, they're part-time on my unit because they're full-time on another unit, whether they pick up shifts very regularly on my unit and they've got a temporary assignment there, whatever the reason. They're not my full-time people, but they are still here claiming shifts regularly enough that I want to include them in this group. So I could uncheck this and it would only send it to my home team people, but this group is my entire team. So I made sure I checked the non-home team people. Because I've added 10317, my entire team, all people are eligible to claim shifts from this group. But I still control who's going to be claiming shifts within this group by what shifts I'm ascending. So if I'm only posting nursing shifts, only nurses are going to be able to see these shifts. If I'm only posting rad tech shifts, only rad techs can claim those shifts. So I am not at risk of adding my entire team to my Billboard group. I'm not at risk of people picking up shifts they shouldn't be working because the system is always going to make sure that they are qualified to work the shift that I'm posting, meaning they've got the right job and they've got the right skills. You can override this. You can have this system ignore job qualification or ignore optional skill qualifications. I would recommend that you really know what you're doing if you're going to check these, because you can get yourself into a little bit of trouble in people swapping and picking up shifts that they shouldn't be working if you check these boxes. So if you're in the slightest bit hesitant, but you think you want to use this, I would please reach out to someone and kind of explore the reason for wanting to use this before you do. I would say that most of the time, vast majority of the time, we're going to leave these unchecked and we're going to let the system make sure that the people claiming these shifts are eligible to claim them. And then again, the Billboard shift team. This is where the shifts are being posted from. So these are CRMC ICU shifts that can be posted to this Billboard group. And the shifts, any shifts from 3.8 to 0 3000 can be posted. So again, I've got access to all the HR departments in this entire training system. When I open up my 10317 schedule, I'm only going to see the Billboard groups that have been created for this HR department. I'm not going to see all Billboard groups. So we'll go in and show that. But the Billboard shift team here is going to be the shifts, where the shifts are coming from. The Billboard group employee and Billboard group team. These are going to be who are going to see those shifts when they're posted. So I'm going to go into the schedule and I'm going to show how we can post these shifts briefly. So if we go back into this same schedule, for me, it's published. So we were just balancing in this schedule. For some of you, it may not be published. For me, it is published. So I can go in here and I can click on one of these shifts and I can hit send to Billboard. This button will not appear if a certain number of things aren't true about the shift that you've clicked on. If the shift is not published, meaning if there's still a perforation around it. So specifically, if we look at the unfilled shifts for this unit, a lot of them have locks, but you see the dots around the shift? These little dots, this perforation around that shift means that this shift is not published. I can also see the publish icon there. I'm not going to touch it, Joni. But these shifts are not published. Unpublished shifts cannot be sent to the Billboard. They have to be published. The other thing that has to be true about that shift is that it has to be in the future. So if you try to offer a shift in the past, it will not have that send to Billboard button. This is a little confusing because if a shift is uneligible for the Billboard, it's not like you're going to be able to click on the button and then try to send it and get an error message saying that this shift can't be posted. The button itself will not be visible. So this throws a lot of folks off in your process. If you click into a shift and you don't see this send to Billboard button, that doesn't necessarily mean that your groups weren't created correctly. That might mean that the shift is either in the past or it's unpublished. So we want to make sure that they're published in the future, and I'm going to see this send to Billboard button. When I select this send to Billboard button, similarly to what I was showing, if I click on the available billboards that I can send this shift to, I'm going to see 3. We're going to talk about this the staffing center billboard groups momentarily, but I can only see the 2 that I created for 10317. So I've got the PRN group that I created, and I've got the whole team group that I've created. If I go in here into this magnifying glass, I have access to hundreds of HR departments. But when I click on this send to billboard button, the only ones available to me are the groups that have been created either by me or for me. So this USC billboard group was created for my unit because the staffing center is going to be, will be used on this unit. If you do not utilize the staffing center, you will not see any staffing center billboard groups. If you do utilize the staffing center, they will create them for you. You will see them there. The specifics about that process can be talked about at a different time with the staffing center group. But if you're seeing
Max,
in
let me-
production,
can I just,
go ahead.
So some of you who actually do use them may not have billboards, but we're going to ask you to please make sure you get the specifics from Staffing Center. There are only specific groups that we are starting with that are going to have billboards built by Staffing Center. So make sure you speak to your I think they're called CAMs for your member org to get more specifics about Staffing Center and their billboards.
Perfect. All right. So we're going to go through this next one a little quick. There's 2 ways to send shifts to the billboard. There's 2 types of actions. There's an immediate claim action. So if I send this shift to my PRN people and I make it immediate claim, as soon as I hit submit, it is 11:51 a.m. Eastern time on 3/17. As soon as I hit submit, this shift is open. It's out on the billboard. If there are people in my group that are eligible to work this shift, they're going to get a notification. So those people that were added to this PRN group, those 4 people, assuming that they're not already working on Wednesday, 4/22, and they're eligible to work this shift, they've got the right job, they've got the right skills, they're going to get a notification that this shift is available for them to claim. Immediate claim means the first person who's eligible, which means, again, they're a part of that group, they are not currently working during this time from 7 a.m. to 7:30 p.m. on 4/22, and they are eligible to work this nursing shift and any skills that may be added to it. They can view the shift and they can claim it. If they're not eligible, meaning they're already working, they don't have the right job or they don't have the right skill or they're not on the group, they will not get a notification, they will not see this shift. So if they see it, they can claim it. If they claim it for immediate claim, it's going to go right into their schedule. The manager of this unit is going to get a notification saying that a shift has been claimed from the billboard, and there's a lot of ways they can go in and check that. They're going to get a notification, though, that it's been claimed. It's done. The person has claimed it, it's on their schedule, it's been removed from the billboard, no one else can pick it up. There's absolutely 0 chance that one shift can be claimed by 2 people, and it's on their schedule, it's live. The next way you can offer shifts is bidding. This is a little tricky. So we're going to go through this in the schedule of schedules example that Kim was showing before. So in our schedule of schedules, we're saying that these shifts from 4:19 to 5:30, specifically this shift on 4/22, this can be offered to my unit. Let's say I'm the manager of 10317. These shifts can be offered to my people between the 22nd and the 4th. On the 5th, these shifts are opened up to Staffing Center. So let's say between the 22nd and the 4th are when these shifts can be claimed by my people. So knowing that, when I choose my bidding window end date, what I want to say is that I want my window, my bidding window, to end on the 1st. And I'm going to say 7 a.m. So what this means is as soon as I hit submit, it is 11:54 a.m. Eastern time. As soon as I hit submit, people can view this shift. If they're eligible for it, they can go view it and they can bid on it. People who are eligible to work this shift can bid on this shift up until 4/1 at 7 a.m. So similar to self-scheduling, At 4/1, at 6:59 a.m., they can bid on this shift. At 7 a.m., it's no longer visible for them to bid on it. They cannot bid on it anymore. I am going to say that my review window, which starts immediately after my bidding window ends, my review window is going to close at 7 p.m. on 4/4. So what this whole thing means is between now, as soon as I hit submit, and 4/1 at 7 a.m., this shift is open for people to go put bids on it. If they're a part of this group, they're eligible to work that shift, they're not already working, and they haven't already bid on a shift at the exact same time, and we'll talk about that more in a second, they can go and bid on this shift between now and 4/1 at 7 a.m. And then at 7 a.m. on 4/1, my review window opens, which means that I, as a manager or someone who has access to 103.17, I could be a scheduler, I now have the ability to go in and view that shift, which is now under review, and I can view all the people that have put a bid on that shift, and I can work towards awarding that shift to one of the people who have bid on it. I have until 4/4 at 7 p.m. to make that decision. If 5 people go in and bid on this shift, I've got between 7 a.m. on 4/1 and 7 p.m. on 4/4 to go and award that shift to one of those 5 people. We'll show you how to do that. If I don't make a decision at that time, at 7 p.m., that shift is going to be removed from the bill. So it's going to be removed. The window's going to close. It's going to be pulled off the billboard altogether. And like none of those people will have been awarded that shift. So when they bid on the shift, it's going to say your bid has been placed. You will not, like, this is not your shift until you receive a notification that you have been awarded this shift. And so when the window closes and no decision has been made, no one gets this shift. So we'll talk about this a little bit more, but this is a little tricky. So again, if you're unsure about it, make sure you read through the prompts here. It's going to explain it a little bit, but reach out to someone if you're confused. So I'm going to submit this, and I'm going to say that I want this shift offered to my PRN people, and it's going to be available between now and 7 a.m. on 4/1. I'm going to hit submit. It's been posted to the billboard. I can see a little billboard icon on that. I can click back into this same shift, and I can either cancel my billboard posting, or I can send it to the billboard again. Because when I hit send to the billboard again, I've only got one way to send this shift out there. I can't send it out via immediate claim because it's already out there. People may be bidding on it. So the only way I can is by sending it out to bidding again. I can't change my dates. So it's out there. People can bid on it until 4/1 at 7 a.m. The only thing I can do here is I can choose to send it to more people. So let's say I send this shift out to bid. I go in and like my open shift, like I look at my open shift manager. No one has claimed or bid on this shift. And a day or two has gone by. My PRN people haven't picked up. My part-time people haven't bid on it. I'm going to offer it out to my whole team next. So I'm going to hit submit. Now I'm sending this out to my whole team. Nothing changes except the audience. Now people across my whole team, if they're a part of the billboard group, they haven't already bid on a shift during this same time, and they're available to work it, and they're eligible, they can bid on it. I can hit submit. So I can also just go through and cancel. The other way we can post shifts is magic wand, mass edit. And I can click on several of my day shifts. I can then click on the pencil icon. It's going to be a little bit small, but once I click on the pencil icon after I've made my selections, there's an option second to the last that says send to billboard. I can select as many shifts as I want, and I can go through and do the same thing. Immediate claim, bidding, window start date, all of that, all the different groups, same exact way to post multiple shifts at once than it is to post one shift. And you can go through and do this. One thing to note with bidding, if I post one shift out for bidding, on Tuesday the 21st at 7 a.m. shift, and Kim goes in and bids on that shift, that day shift on Tuesday the 21st. Kim is ineligible from bidding on any other shifts that overlap with that time. She has put her hat in the ring to work on that Tuesday, the 21st, from 7 a.m. to 7:30 p.m. She cannot go to several other billboards or billboard groups and bid on and a very similar or the exact same shift on other units or even this unit. You cannot attempt to claim multiple shifts that will overlap, because if the two managers are going in there and submitting these back to back and awarding them both to Kim, they're going to get an error message. They physically can't do it, but it's going to be confusing to the managers, because if you're opening and you're kind of making your decision as to who you're going to award this shift to, and you go to award it to someone and it says, just kidding, they're already working, that's going to be confusing to you as the manager going through and making these selections. So someone can only bid on one shift at a time, basically. They can, Kim can bid on a shift on the 21st. She can bid on a shift on the 22nd, the 23rd, the 24th, right? Cannot bid on a day that overlaps with something she's already bid on. So those are our ways to send shifts to the billboard. Those are our ways to maintain the billboard. We've got about 15, 14 minutes left. Kim, I don't know if we want to go into more depth or open it up.
I don't want to go into more depth, but I do want you to show briefly the open shift manager, because I want to make sure people understand that as well, because this all flows together. So I want to make sure we get the flow down.
Okay.
And then we'll hit questions.
I'm going to go into production for the open shift manager, just because in train here, there aren't very many shifts that are out there. I'm going to go into production. I am not going to make any changes. So under scheduling, shift billboard, there's open shift manager. When I click into open shift manager, my first tab is going to default to pending actions. It's loading right now. It's loading a lot of shifts because I have access to every single unit. What will appear for you are only shifts that are available for billboard groups that you have access to or HR departments that you have access to. You are not going to see everything across the entire organization. You are only going to see shifts for the relevant units that you have access to. But pending actions are shifts that are currently open for review, which means the bidding window has closed and the review window is now open, meaning I can come in here and award this shift to someone. I can see that there are no bids on this shift, but under the post details, I can see that this shift was posted and the review window, so that was posted on March 11th, the review window opened or closed, bidding window closed on March 12th, which means the review window opened on March 12th and is open until April 11th. So if there were bids on this shift, I would see those bids within this area, and I could go through and select the person that I wanted to award that shift to and award them that shift. I can hover over people.
Can you show that example again? Because I feel as though they may have got things a little backwards, because I don't feel like they put it out there to their employees for very long. They're taking a really long time to review it, but I don't feel like they gave their team members time to actually act on it.
Yep. So the bidding,
is that a fair statement?
Yep. The bidding windows are a little confusing, so it's totally understandable. But what we're looking at, just as an example, what we're looking at specifically here is this shift was posted on Wednesday, March 11th at 4:13 p.m. And the bidding window ended on Thursday, March 12th at 10 a.m.
Like,
So they had less than 24 hours
wasting
to
my
go
time
in
at
and
this point.
bid.
Can someone mute? I can't find out who it is, Max, so I can't mute him.
Good. So we are it was less than 24 hours for people to go in and claim this shift. So it was just, potentially a mismatch here. But we've got roughly a month to award this shift, but less than a day for people to claim it. So it might have just been flip-flopped, right? We might have meant to offer this out for longer than that, but I can see the post details specifically about that. I can see the shift details as well, so I could see the specifics about that shift. And again, here are my bids. Of the bids that I've got some options. I can sort them by their name, their seniority date, or their hire date. Additional sorts are going to be coming from Infor on this. We don't know exactly when, but they're going to add some more. They're always adding a lot of detail into this module here. The next screen here are active posts. So the first thing that I'm going to do before I click on active posts is I'm going to change my dates. So I want to say that I want to view shifts from 4/19 to 5/2. So only shifts that are posted for those dates. And then I'm going to click on active posts. This may take a while to load, but what this is doing is it's showing any shift that's currently posted to the billboard for any unit. I have access to every unit. So it's showing me any shifts posted to the billboard from between these dates, and it's showing me that list. I can view a list of 100 shifts, and this is going to show me everything here.
It's
So
going to
this
show
is-
them the ones that they have access to.
Correct. Only what they've got, only what you've got access to. For me, it's showing me everything, which is, we're going to kind of go into our filters and sorts next. So if I click on an active shift, I can see that this one is first come, first serve. When I look at the post details, it's immediate claim. I can see who it was posted by. I can see the date that it was posted, and I can see who's eligible to claim this shift. So there are 33 employees who are eligible to claim this shift based off of the Billboard group that they belong to, and their what the shift is, and what these people's jobs are. So these are the people who are eligible to claim this shift. So there's a lot of detail that you can see within here. Of active posts, you can come in and you can manually assign this active post as well. This assign screen is similar to what you've seen before. We won't dive into it too far, but you can assign a shift that's currently out there only if it's first come, first serve. If it is a bid, so if it's a bid and it's active, you can assign it. If it's a bid and it's under review, you have to choose who has bid on it. You can withdraw a post, remove it from the billboard, which will leave it as an unassigned shift, one of those yellow shifts in the background on your ASV or your view schedule. Or you can mark it relief not needed, which will remove it from the billboard, will also remove it from your schedule. When you go back to view schedule, this shift will not be visible with the yellow background. It's going to be removed from your schedule altogether. So before we go to the next tab, I want to show my filters. So if I click on filters, there's a lot in here. There's a lot of really handy ways to view and kind of change what you're looking at. I am going to specifically say that I only want to view shifts that are on 103.17. Well, let's do 103.17 and 103.16. So I'm going to apply this filter, and it may not show me any active posts. So those two units have not posted any shifts to the billboard yet, but that brings us to our next tab, which is open shifts. When I click on open shifts, it is showing me any open shifts that are out there right now on the emergency room or the ICU that are eligible to be posted to the billboard. So between April 19th and May 2nd, on those two units, the ICU and the ED, there are 4 open shifts. That means these are published shifts that are unfilled. If I went to view schedule and I opened the emergency room, I would see these 4 shifts without the little perforations around them. These are published, and these are eligible to be posted to the billboard group. When I click into these shifts, I can assign these shifts manually if I wanted to. I could post these shifts to the billboard if I wanted to, and I can mark these as relief not needed if I wanted to. This is handy because if you go to your view schedule, these are your unfilled shifts. So when you go to the open shifts tab, those are your unfilled shifts on your unit. So if we look between 419 and 52, there are 4. There's 1, 2, published, unfilled, and then see somewhere else there's 2 more. But these are shifts that are published and able to be posted to the
And you have to
Billboard.
scroll to the right.
But yeah, so these are the published shifts that are available to be sent to the Billboard is what's going to show up in open shifts. The reason I wanted to filter first is because if I looked at the entire organization for 2 weeks, it would show me every single unfilled shift, and it would take a while for you to load this tab. The last, I'm going to go through and I'm going to clear my filters, and I'm going to click on completed. This completed tab is going to show me any shift that has been withdrawn from the Billboard. If it's been posted to the Billboard, but it's been withdrawn, or if it's been posted to the Billboard, but the review window ended, or if it was posted to the Billboard and it was marked as relief not needed. This is kind of your history here. So under completed, it's going to show you, if we click on this shift, we can see that this was posted to the Billboard, but it was then marked as relief not needed. This shift was posted to the Billboard as immediate claim, and it was claimed by Cassandra Thomas. This shift was, let's see, relief not needed. This was assigned to someone. If I see one of these where the review window has ended, basically the shift was, nobody bid on it, nobody assigned it to anybody. It was automatically pulled off the Billboard. So this is your history. These are all the different shifts that you're going to see that were posted, that who claimed them, when they were claimed, and you can use your filters and your sorts in here to find exactly what you're looking for. So if someone is saying that they never saw a shift that was posted or that they never claimed anything, your completed posts are a good way for you to go through and see that. So I'm going to pull train back up just so that we're not perusing through production. But we've got a few minutes left here, Kim. Do we want to open it up?
Yeah, I saw Allie's hand go up and down. So Allie, did you have a question?
I did, but I got the answer.
Good. Okay. Cassandra.
Cassandra, yep.
So on the balance section of it, why does it show RDOs in the list of needs at the top?
So great question. We mocked this up as if we were offering these shifts out to the to self-scheduling. So when I offered RDO shifts out to self-scheduling, I offered 2. I offered 1 day shift and 1 night shift each day. So these are the shifts that people have claimed, the RDO shifts that people claimed. These are the ones that were not claimed. So I can go through and remove these additional RDO shifts before I publish if I wanted to. But these exist up here just because they were offered out to self-scheduling for people to claim.
They were in your shift, the shift template. So when they did the shift template, people who enter RDOs on the shift template to go out to self-scheduling, that's what feeds over. So if you don't put them on your shift template, they won't show up.
Exactly.
Okay, thank you.
Of course.
I don't know who's been monitoring the chat. Is there anything in the chat that we missed?
I see Marcellus and Maria in there. So is there anything that anyone that we
So we're
didn't
not going to
address?
speak to the staffing center because unfortunately the staffing center needs to speak to their process and make sure everyone knows their process. So I'm not sure if staffing center's on this call, but they should be reaching out to each member org because some of the member orgs have decided that they are going to go through their nursing office where others are going through the HR departments. So unfortunately, that's not our process to discuss. So I saw something about staffing center in there. So we need to make sure that that has been shared by the staffing center, what that process is. So we can't speak to that process, unfortunately.
We have Dawn.
Yeah, Kim, speaking about that, can we have the staffing center stay on the line after the call to talk about that process?
Honestly, Dawn, we're using these meetings to post, so I prefer it be a separate meeting.
Okay.
I can stop the video if is Staffing Center on the call?
I saw
Looking-
Stephanie on. I don't know if she's still on.
Okay. I don't think
All right, I'll
Stephanie's
touch base with her.
okay. Thank you.
Okay.
I have a question. Thank you so much for the presentation. This was super helpful, especially since it's going to be recorded, because I would like to share it to the timekeepers and everyone else. In regards to, you know, the week of payroll and checking everything, was there, and I might have missed it, was there a video or is there, will there be another session in regards to how to do payroll? Because as you know, CapReach, we do payroll for nurses every 4 weeks, and this is the week to do so. And I just want to prepare myself and not get stuck on a Saturday or Sunday because I don't have that video to go throughout.
So I think the payroll one is happening towards the end of the week. Unfortunately, we're mainly MVS. I can follow up. I honestly think the payroll sessions are happening towards the end of the week.
Yes, Thursday and Friday.
Thanks, Sandy.
Mhm.
And they said you had to register for it too. It came in our email, so we had to register for those classes.
I'll follow up. Max, if you could take any additional questions, I'm just going to see if I can hit him in the chat and ask them.
Sure.
Hey, this is Beverly. I just have a question. When would the recording be available? I missed the first 15 minutes of the session because I was running late.
So Beverly, the next session is going to be tomorrow. I have to wait for communications to do the whole video. So we have 5 sessions that we're doing, and then they take one of those videos, put it on a YouTube, and then we share it on the resource page. So Beverly, what I can do is I can just take your name, but I would ask that you please not share the video with anyone else until it's approved by communications. Because when you do things at the system level, you need a lot more approvals to do things than you do when you work locally, because I'm used to working at a member org and I just send it, right? But I've had my hand smacked a few times for sharing things that I shouldn't be sharing. So unfortunately, we have to wait till it's approved because we don't want things shared with the masses until they say that we're allowed to share it with the masses.
Well, if you can share it with me, because I have another meeting tomorrow at the same time as this one.
It's different times. Just look at your calendar.
No, I saw the meeting that's scheduled for tomorrow. I have a meeting tomorrow morning at the same time that the one is scheduled. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Thanks. Thank you.
Of course.
Anyone else need to come off mic and ask a question?
Not seeing
Either
anything.
we nailed it, Max, or people are just still confused, or they've got it. Allie.
Hey, I don't know if this is the right platform for this question, but my unassigned shifts on my schedule that is supposed to be out for self-scheduling do not have the lock on it. And my staff cannot see it. And I apologize if this is not the right meeting, but I have not gotten an answer to that question.
So Allie, I'm going to ask you to share your screen really quickly because I haven't seen any other questions come through related to we're talking about. So if you can...
We've got one more.
One more?
Yeah, we've got Kim Crowell and Jill Kane both raised their hands.
Okay, so Allie, pause.
So,
let us answer the other ones.
Pause super quick.
No problem.
Sorry. All right, Kim.
Mine
Kimberly
should be
Crowell?
super quick.
Okay.
The PTO, the totals for the amount of hours, my PTO is not calculating in as well. Do I need to?
Yep. So the more of you that send me an Infor Cloud ticket that goes to ServiceNow, then we escalate it and becomes like a critical, we need to get this fixed kind of thing. So if you're seeing that, I actually have captured it for Incident Command. So from this meeting, I'll make sure it's reported to Incident Command. But for those that are seeing it, send it over as an example, and we'll then let the other sessions know that we have captured it.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you. And then, Max, you said there was one other person.
Jill Kane.
Hi, I posted something in the chat. So my assistant manager posted to the Billboard and she's getting all the emails, but I'm not. Is that how that's going to work? Is whoever actually does the Billboard post, one of us won't be getting it because we didn't do the postings.
Getting a notification that the shift was successfully posted?
Correct. And she gets notified, but I don't, because she's the one that did the billboard post the first time.
Is it possible? Well, maybe we can connect offline. I'm not sure exactly of your roles, exactly, you know, so I know that you're managers and assistant managers. The role within the system and the security, we'd have to look at exactly to see who should be getting those and who shouldn't be. But to be specific, these are notifications that the shift was successfully posted to the billboard, not that they were claimed or not that they're eligible to claim them.
We had people that went out there that claimed them to the billboard, and she got notified that somebody went out there and picked up a shift.
Okay.
I did
So
not
they,
get notification of that, nor
And
did she
Phil,
get
are you the manager or scheduler?
I am the manager, so I do all three.
Okay.
so I think
And
we
she has the
can,
same access as me.
yeah, I think we can connect offline. Some of this is driven by the role that you've got in GHR. But we can connect, I think, and review exactly, you know, both of your roles and see what should be happening.
Okay, thank you.
Of course. All right. And then it looks like we've got one last question.
Tamara?
Um,
See, that hand is still up.
Are you
Okay.
talking about me?
Yes. Yeah. Your
Oh,
hand's
yes.
up.
Hello. Hi. I have specific questions and I'd like to just be able to get walked through because I have staggered shifts and I know this is not the platform. I would need to like sit and talk to someone so that I
So-
can go through it because I have a lot of openings because I have staggered shifts.
So we're going to ask that you go to your local incident command and speak with them first. And then if they need further assistance, then we would try and see if we can get you further assistance. But we make sure you start with your local incident command first. What member org are you?
Yariatsu, please reach out to me afterwards. This is Kim Cook.
Okay. All right. Okay.
Perfect. All right. So self-scheduling. If you could share your
Allie?
screen again, Allie.
Yeah. And we're past time, guys. And if you are welcome to stay. We were supposed to end at 12:15, so we are over time. So if you need to go, feel free. And thank you so much for your time.
Appreciate you. All right. So unpublished. Good. And you are 10784. So are you able to go to your process? So scheduling, self-scheduling process. And there are, all right. So it's open right now. If you look down at the bottom under your self-scheduling, self-scheduling shift selection, right? There's nothing listed there. And you're not able to offer because it's open right now. So if you pause it, 3 buttons in the middle of the page. If you pause it, now you can offer. And this is going to offer everything. So this is all 5 of 5 and 1 above for nurses and PCTs. Is that okay?
Yep.
You're wanting to, okay. So if you've offered all of it, it's all available shifts for all 6 weeks for your nurses and PCTs. And then you can click open again. And it's going to open back up again. So let's say, it opened on 3:10 at midnight. So yeah, they're able to go in there now. If they go in and click on this process, the shifts will be visible to them. And if you go back to view schedule.
Yeah, I kept trying to click on view offer all, and I didn't realize you had to be not
paused. Yeah. And then if you open back up your unassigned,
oh yeah,
it should be locked.
There they are.
Look at that. Oh my gosh, thank you.
Compact view and all. That's great.
What a miracle. All right. Thank you for answering that question real quick.
Of course. Okay. So we don't
This
have
is Beth.
anything else unless there's someone. Yep. Go ahead.
The email that I'm sending saying the PTO is not being counted, it goes to Infor Cloud Suite. Is that correct?
Yeah, if you send it to Infor Cloud Suite, they'll get it to where it needs to be. Make sure you have WFM in there as well, so that people know that it's WFM. And then, should we put MVS?
WFM what? Because when I put in
Put
WFM,
WFM, MVS, non-productive time not capturing. Something about how the non-productive time is not capturing.
oh,
in
I
the-
thought you were saying it's a web address. Okay.
Yeah.
So Infor Cloud
If-
Suite, and I. Okay.
Yep. And if you could list the code that's not being counted too, that would be really helpful.
Yeah, because it's all non-productive, so we want to make sure that your PTO is coming over, your meeting time, your education time. If you don't have that on your calendar, that's fine, but we'll make sure we need to find someone who does, because we need to know that they're all capturing.
Yeah.
In the
So
calendar.
I mean, just the screenshot showing the PTO scheduled, and
Yep.
then when you look at the week hours that week, and it says 0. So
Thank you.
that's what
Okay,
you're
that
saying.
works.
That should say.
Yeah,
that should
send a
say.
screenshot of that. Yes.
Okay. All right. I'll send it in.
And make sure you're specific about the number of hours of PTO. If it's an 8-hour person, if it's a 12-hour, so that we know that.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right, everybody. I hope this was helpful. Again, we have 4 more sessions, 1 tomorrow, 2 on Thursday, and 1 on Friday. If you know of people that need to attend, please just forward them this and tell them to be there at the top of the hour and on time, because we just go straight in, and if they come in the middle, they'll be a little lost. Okay. So thank you again for your time, and have a great day.